What's up, J Fusion fans? This is Philip, and welcome back to another video. So, as of this recording, I have seen the debut of Kamen Rider Saber Cross Saber, or rather, Kamen Rider Cross Saber at this point. So, yeah, I think it's much less confusing if I say it like that. But, anyways, before I continue on, now, uh, as much as possible, I would try to and not say any very important plot points for today's episode of Kamen Rider Saber, but just in case, I would like to place somewhat a minor spoiler alert, and also just a reminder these videos are not intended for viewers under the age of 13, so please be advised, and let's get on with the video. So, what do I think of Kamen Rider Cross Saber uh, during his initial appearance? Now, like looks wise, I get that the Deiwa era riders are doing something different compared to the Heisei era, especially since when we think of Heisei era Kamen Riders and their final forms, well, they tend to like take everything over the top, especially with with the latter half of the Heisei era. So yeah, I really uh, I'm trying to get used to this kind of like back to basics, minimalist thing. Like, you know, the designs are like going up and up and up and up, and then suddenly uh, like you look like a downgrade. Like Kamen Rider Zero Two, however, like actually looks really sleek. That's why I like it, even though yeah, it's just somewhat a modified Kamen Rider Zero One suit. But again, like there should be at least for Zero One, there was some kind of symbolism there. But maybe for Kamen Rider Cross Saber, there also is. Now, let's talk about his design, shall we? So, basically, the suit is just a repainted Kamen Rider Saber suit with, of course, the following differences. So, number one, the coloration. So, from a base red, now he has kind of like blue, but somewhat purplish tinge in some parts. I think the bodysuit is actually purple, and there are some gradients here and there, and it's quite glossy, like you may see like a rainbow-ish coat on the suit, or especially on the armor. The second difference is of course the how can cross saber, which is an upgrade, or what I would say, it's the combination of all the seikens, all the sacred swords. So they formed um, the Hauken cross saber around, or using the Kainken Deka as the catalyst. So it was to bring. So the Kainken Deka was used to bring all those other swords together, and now we have the cross saber. So the third, and I guess the other significant change to the suit would be the blade crown, or aka the horn on Kamen Rider Saber's head, which of course is now the tip of the cross saber instead of the traditional Kainken Deka blade crown. So I guess those are the most notable things about the change to cross saber. Now, do I like this? Well, compared to Zero Two, not really as much, but again, uh, trying to understand how it's been for that Reiwa era writers so far. So again, going for a more minimalistic look, which is closer to the original form rather than a straight up like slap everything onto it type of power up that most of the latter Heisei era Kamen Riders did. So yeah, uh, again, basically I don't mind, but it's not necessarily my favorite. In terms of like upgrades for Kamen Rider Saber, for me the Dragonic Knight is personally my favorite. But again, not really a problem with Cross Saber. So let's talk about its abilities. Now, like I've said earlier, right? The Howken Cross Saber is born by combining all of the other sacred swords, using the Kainken Reka as the base. So, of course, um, uh, Saber is, or Cross Saber rather, is able to use abilities based on the other sacred swords used. Now, he does this by sliding the crossguard over the three spots across the sword, across the blade of the sword, and then pulling it back down to the base, and then pulling the trigger to activate said effects. For example, if he wants to use abilities of, like, let's say, blades or espada, or maybe even more than two other effects at the same time. Let's say uh, Cross Saber would use uh, like all three powers of Kainken Dekka, Suiseiken Nagara, and Daimeiken Ikazuchi all at the same time. He can do so by sliding the crossguard to the appropriate spot, and then back down to the base, and then pulling the trigger, and then he will be able to use all of the three powers. Now, this can be done, or this can be executed in either two ways. So he summons uh, a copy of another sacred sword, or uh, maybe multiple sacred swords again, because it's possible, or he would copy rather abilities based on those other sacred swords. So let's say, for example, uh, like summoning lightning. So he doesn't really have to summon the Ikazuchi, but rather just use the power of lightning to attack. So uh, for the sword copy ability now, after combining the swords into Haoken Cross Saber, they eventually, not really eventually, but they immediately went back to their respective owners. So they just, upgraded the Kaien Kendeka, and then went back to their respective owners. So this would still enable them to fight and transform as Kamen Riders. So what happens is he summons copies of, let's say, Nagare, for example. So Toma and Rintaro fighting side by side. Now, basically, Toma can wield both the cross saber and Nagare, while Rintaro still has his original copy. So it's just a reproduction per se for Toma, at least when he uses it. So that's what happens. Or again, summoning abilities like being able to use wind powers or something like that when activating, or when choosing Kenzan's abilities, for example. But again, it can, either of the two things can happen, basically. Now, while we do see Cross Saber as, as a base Brave Dragon suit or something like that, uh, he can also somehow change forms. Now, if you've seen the scans, by the way, if you haven't seen all the scans that we've published, or we've shared before, I'm going to put the links down in the description so you guys can check out. So you guys can check them out and get a better understanding of what I'm saying. So the cross saber suit can have not really upgrades, but other like form changes. I don't think his stats would change, but definitely he would be able to use different abilities depending on the forms that he uses. So the first form, or the first form change that Cross Saber uses, is a combination of the Brave Dragon, the Lion Senki, and Lamp de Alangina. Now, I've always thought that Toma would eventually use all these three Wonder Ride books, albeit, just using their base looks. Like, again, simply doing a triple Wonder Ride book combination like Toma did before with Tenku no Pegasus and the Needle Hedgehog. I think it was in episode 3, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I was thinking of something like that. And Toma did use the Lamp de Alangino Wonder Ride book before, when he once wielded the Ikazuchi uh, at the same time as, the Deka after Kento's supposed quote unquote death. So, again, I was thinking of that kind of form change for Toma, but I guess it did happen, albeit again as Cross Saber. So basically, the suit and the armors are just the colors of the Cross Saber, but they do use the armor parts of Lion Senki and Lamp Dolangina. However, the head design does not change, unlike other triple rider or triple combo, one triple Wonder Ride book combos that Toma would have used just by using like the Kaenken deck before. So the other one is basically a recolored version of the Crimson Dragon, again, minus the head change. So, yeah, reusing the parts of the Storm Eagle and the Sayu Journey, again, minus the head, but still, he's going to be able to use the same kinds of abilities that he had as Crimson Dragon, only much, much stronger. So, so far, those are the things that I've seen Toma do, or at least in the show, and the scans that we've shared before. So again, if you missed those, links are going to be down in the description. So um, now I've thought of some other things that you know kind of crossed my mind. So other thoughts that I've had regarding Cross Saber. The first one is that his powers are cosmic based, so he's basically got the powers of the universe in his hands, which is kind of reminiscent of Kamen Rider 4's cosmic states. And this is actually stressed by the fact that there is a Gamba Rising card featuring both of them on the cover, right? So it's Cross Saber on the front, so just behind him is Four's Cosmic States. But again, the cosmic power similarities are already there, so they're parallels. So another similarity that I would remember is Gaim Kiwami Arms. So of course, Gaim Kiwami Arms is pretty much known for being able to summon the weapons of the other Kamen Riders, of course, in Kamen Rider Gaim. However, uh, Cross Saber is not limited to that ability. So again, he doesn't necessarily have to copy or summon a copy of another rider's sword, but he can just copy other abilities using uh using the cross saber. So let's say, for example, I've seen in today's episode again, he used the gun ability of the Onjuken Suzune. So maybe like summoning a copy of the sword as well, I guess, in gun mode. But he did use the sword to shoot lasers. So yeah. Now it's not necessarily like that all the time, I guess, but maybe you summon the sword and you use the abilities just to be sure. So yeah, that's what happens. So those are a couple of things that I also thought about. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. So what do you think about Cross Saber? So maybe you've probably already seen some clips of it in action. I'm pretty sure at this point, Gaiatron has already shared clips from today's episode, or if you could find the episodes somewhere on YouTube. But don't tell Toy, please. You don't want the uploaders to get taken down. I know I shouldn't be talking about it like this. God, like I don't want to attract any attention to be honest. But anyways, if you've probably seen clips already, I'm pretty sure that there are people already doing that. But again, don't, please stop tweeting Shirakura about it. Like he's basically letting us enjoy this uh as of now. So just don't cause trouble, please. Don't cause trouble for this fandom any further. So I could probably talk about this Shirokure issue now. I don't want to focus too much. I'm trying to end this video basically. So, anyways, please tell us what you think about Kamen Rider Cross Saber down in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share this video, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JE Fusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!